They spat on her coffin. They refused to sing hymns. When Ngozi died, the entire village celebrated. They called her a witch. They said she brought darkness into their homes. They said her death was a victory for God. But here is the truth they didn't know. Ngozi wasn't burning rituals in the night. She was burning her own medical reports. She wasn't losing weight because of evil spirits. She was dying of cancer. And she let them call her a witch because she didn't want her daughter to worry. This is the story of a mother's sacrifice, a village's shame, and the truth that broke them all. If you believe justice should always be served, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because you do not want to miss how this ends. The sun was hot that day, indifferent. In the compound of the Okafor family, a body lay wrapped in plain cloth on a mat outside. No flowers, no wailing, just silence. Adais, her 24-year-old daughter, sat alone beside the body, arms wrapped around her own chest, shivering despite the heat. Villagers passed by. They didn't stop to offer condolences. They whispered. "So the witch has finally died," one woman said. "God is not sleeping," said another. "They shouldn't even bury her inside the village. Her kind pollutes the ground." A daisy stood up, her voice shaking. "My mother is lying here. She is not yet cold. Can you not hold your tongues for 1 hour?" But the women just looked at her with cold eyes. "A daisy," one said sharply. "We have nothing against you. But your mother, that woman brought darkness into this community." A daisy screamed at them. "What did she do? Tell me. I say it with your full chest." But they didn't answer. They just walked away, muttering that the daughter had her mother's spirit. Then, Adai's best friend Obi rushed in. Adais broke down. "Obi, nobody came. My own father has not stepped out of that house. She died alone. I held her hand, and she looked at me like she was apologizing. Why was she apologizing to me? She was the one dying." Just then, the door opened. Papa Emeka emerged. He looked hollow, aged. He glanced at his wife's body and looked away. Adai's voice went cold. "You could not come outside. She was your wife." Emeka whispered, "The whole village will be watching. If I mourn her openly, they will say—" Adai laughed, a broken sound. "They will say what? That you loved your wife? Go back inside, Papa." He went back inside. Adai sat back down beside the silence. "Don't worry, Mama," she whispered. "I will sit with you. Even if nobody else comes, I will not leave you." But Adai didn't know yet that her mother's silence was hiding a secret far heavier than witchcraft. If you are feeling the pain of injustice, please subscribe and share this story. We are just getting to the truth. To understand the hate, we have to go back. 3 years earlier, the village square was buzzing with gossip. At the center of it was Nkechi, Ngozi's closest neighbor. Nkechi stood before a group of women, her voice urgent. "I am telling you what I saw with my own 2 eyes, Nkechi said. "Last Thursday, just before midnight, I looked across to Ngozi's compound. There was a fire, a small, low fire, and she was crouching over it, alone, muttering words that had no language." The women gasped. "And the following morning," Nkechi added, lowering her voice, "whose child fell sick? Mama Chisholm's last born." Mama Chisholm, standing at the back, tried to speak. "My child had malaria," the doctor confirmed it. But Nkechi cut her off. "And who sent the malaria? Has your child ever had malaria before?" "No." But on the same morning, after Ngozi was doing her fire ritual, suddenly she has malaria. It was a lie, a poisonous seed planted in dry soil. When Ngozi walked into the square later, carrying vegetables, the women went stiff. Nkechi smiled sweetly, but her eyes were cold. Ngozi, we were just admiring how you always look so fresh. Even when your husband is struggling with that farm business, you always look well fed. We were wondering how you manage. It was a trap, implying she used magic to steal wealth. Ngozi just smiled softly. God is my source, Nkechi. Yes, Nkechi replied. God is everyone's source. But the damage was done. The murmurs started. Did you see how she looked at me? Don't let her eyes touch you. 2 years later, the whispers became a judgment. Torches lit the village square. Chief Okafor stood at the front. Papa Emeka stood to the side, unable to look at his wife. Chief Okafor announced, Ngozi, you have been named by multiple witnesses as a practitioner of dark arts. Ngozi stood alone, trembling but upright. Chief, I beg you, who are these witnesses? Let them stand before me. Nkechi has spoken, the chief said. Ngozi turned to the crowd. Has anyone here seen me harm a single person? Has my hand touched anyone's child? Silence. She turned to her husband. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Emeka, please tell them who I am. Emeka looked at the ground. I don't know what to say, Ngozi. That moment broke her, not the accusation, but the silence of the man who vowed to protect her. Even the pastor stepped forward, quoting Bible verses about darkness, unwilling to defend the woman who had washed the church floor every Saturday for 12 years. Adais, then 21, pushed through the crowd. Mama, let's go home. As they walked away, watched like dangerous animals, Ngozi turned to the chief. You are making a mistake. One day you will know what you have done here tonight. I only pray God gives me the grace to forgive all of you before that day comes. Only one person watched her leave with guilt in their eyes, Mama Chisholm, and she held a secret that would change everything. We are halfway through the story. The truth is about to come out. Subscribe now so you don't miss the revelation. Present day, the day after the funeral. A burial so sparse it was almost secret. Mama Chisholm arrived at Adai's compound, unannounced. She carried a small package wrapped in cloth. Adais stared at her. You were there, that night in the square. You stood there and said nothing. I know, Mama Chisholm said, her voice small. That is why I am here. Inside, Mama Chisholm placed the package on the table. Before your mother died, she asked me to come to her. She gave me this. She said to give it to you only after she was gone. Adais unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a small journal, worn soft with years of handling. And underneath it, a folded letter from a hospital. Adais picked up the letter. She read it. Her face changed. Her hands began to shake. It's a medical report, Adais whispered. From St. Joseph Hospital, dated 4 years ago. She looked up, tears streaming. My mother was sick. She has been sick for 4 years. Mama Chisholm nodded, tears running quietly down her face. Stage 3 breast cancer. She was diagnosed the same month Nkechi started the rumors. Adai's voice rose. She knew she was sick, and she never told me. She swore me to silence, Mama Chisholm said. She said she did not want you to spend your young years watching her die. She wanted you to finish your studies. She wanted you to be free. Free, Adais cried. Mama Chisholm, I spent 3 years watching this village call her a witch. I watched them spit when she walked past. I watched her lose everything. Her dignity, her name, and her peace. And she was sick the whole time? Yes. The silence in the room was crushing. Why did she lose weight? Adais asked, realizing the horror. The village said she was using her powers on themselves. that witches grow thin when their evil turns back on them. But it was the sickness. It was the chemotherapy. She sold her wrappers, Mama Chisholm whispered. Her gold earrings, her mother's necklace, everything she had saved, for the treatment. She told nobody. Adaze pressed the journal against her chest, sobbing. The fire. Nkechi's fire. The night she saw Mama crouching outside. She was burning the first set of medical papers, Mama Chisholm confirmed. She did not want your father to find them and worry. She was trying to protect everyone, even then, even in the middle of all of it. Adaze opened the journal. On the first page, in her mother's handwriting, was a single line. God, let me carry this quietly. Let them not see me suffer. Adaze closed the book. Her grief turned into something harder, something sharp. I need to speak. I need to go to the square. I need to stand where they stood when they judged her, and I need to speak. I will come with you, Mama Chisholm said. So will I, said Obi. The confrontation is next. Will the village accept the truth? Subscribe and turn on notifications for the final part, the village square. Adaze had sent word. People gathered, some out of curiosity, some out of habit, some out of guilt. Chief Okafor was there, Pastor Ikenna was there, Nkechi was there, arms folded, expression guarded. Papa Emeka stood at the back, away from everyone. Beside Adaze stood Dr. Amara Nwosu, a young female doctor, all holding a folder. Adaze stood in the center, exactly where her mother stood, 2 years prior. Thank you for coming, Adaze said. My mother, Ngozi, whom this village declared a witch, had cancer. Stage 3. She was diagnosed 4 years ago. She went for treatment alone. She paid for it alone. She bore the side effects alone. The weight loss you saw, that was chemotherapy, not witchcraft. The fatigue, the darkness under her eyes, that was a woman fighting for her life, while you were busy deciding she was fighting against yours. Murmuring rippled through the crowd. Nkechi shifted her weight. Dr. Amara stepped forward. I am Dr. Amara Nwosu. I treated Mrs. Ngozi Emeka for 3 years. She was one of the bravest patients I have encountered. She refused to allow us to contact her family. She told me, my daughter is young. Let her live without this shadow. She attended every chemotherapy session alone. She sat in that waiting room alone. She vomited in our hospital bathrooms and cleaned herself up and walked back out alone. And then she came home to this. Silence. A different kind of silence than before. Heavy. Ashamed. Pastor Ikenna whispered, God have mercy. Chief Okafor looked suddenly very old. We did not know. Adaze's voice cut through them. You did not try to know, Chief. There is a difference. When they brought accusations against her, did anyone investigate? Did anyone knock on her door and say, Sister, what is happening? No. It was easier to believe the worst. It was easier to call her a witch than to ask if she was sick. A woman in the crowd covered her mouth. Chineke. Adaze opened the journal. She forgave you. I want you to know that. She wrote about the day Mama Ifeanyi threw water on her path. She wrote, Lord, she doesn't know what she's doing. Help her. She wrote about the children who stopped greeting her. She wrote, they are only following what they are taught. Forgive them. Adaze paused. Her eyes found Papa Emeka at the back. He had his hand over his face. She wrote about my father. Emeka is afraid. Fear makes men small. I will not hold it against him. I held him when he wept at night, and I will hold that memory instead. Papa Emeka made a sound, like something inside him cracking open. He bent forward, hands on knees, and wept. Not quietly, deeply, the kind of weeping that has been stored for too long. Ngozi, I'm sorry, my wife. Nobody moved to comfort him. He stood in his grief, alone, the way he left her alone. His eyes turned to Nkechi. You saw a sick woman burning her medical papers, and you turned it into a story that destroyed her life. Tell me, Nkechi, before the rumors, was there something she had that you wanted? Obi stepped forward. The whole village knows, Nkechi. Your husband told Mama Ngozi your shop was failing. She lent him money, her own money, and he never paid it back. And when she asked quietly, that was when the rumors started. Gasps from the crowd. Nkechi sat down, slowly, on a bench. She did not speak again. Mama Chisholm stepped forward, voice thick. I knew she was sick. She trusted me, and I kept it because I was afraid. I am ashamed. I watched her walk through this village with her head up and her disease hidden. And I said nothing. Please forgive me. Adesa's voice was soft now, tired. She already wrote it in the journal. She forgave you too. Pastor Ikenna stood, stripped of his authority. I used scripture to justify fear. I failed her. I am sorry in my soul. Chief Okafor spoke painfully. I did not kill Ngozi with my hands, but I gave a crowd permission to kill her with their words. We will give her a proper burial rite, a full one, with her name spoken with honor. Adesi looked at them all. It won't bring her back. No, the chief said quietly. Nothing will. Adesa faced the whole crowd one last time. My mother's name was Ngozi. It means blessing. She was born in this village. She loved this village even when it hated her. She prayed for all of you by name. I found your names in her journal, one by one. She prayed for you by name. She looked at her mother's empty compound. She was not a witch when she was a martyr, and her blood, her silence, cries louder than your whispers ever did. The village women who gossiped most fiercely were the quietest now. The truth had come out, but the cost was too high. Remember this story. The next time you hear a rumor, the next time you see someone suffering in silence, ask yourself, are you adding to their burden? Or are you willing to carry a part of it? Ngozi carried it alone. Don't let her sacrifice be in vain. Speak the truth, defend the weak, and never judge a battle you know nothing about. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Tales by Oma. We tell the stories that matter. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the truth only comes out after it's too late. Let's make sure it isn't too late for the next person.